I'm not convinced they even think that even. Because I think everything they've done has shown that they're speaking and acting from a position of weakness.
Yeah, this is really good news. I didn't look at it from that angle. This is a guy. This is real. This
well,
is
that's
news.
what analysis is about.
Yeah, all right. Uhuru.
So, does anybody else want to comment? Question? Uhuru.
I want to unite with this piece as well, and especially what you just said, Chimaranga, in terms of, because I know a lot of times, you know, imperialism, they try to control the narrative. That's what the chairman is always talking about in terms of they want to create a certain type of understanding and define the way the world is. And they want to put themselves forward in the media and all that as if they're in a position of strength. You know, they want to interpret the drones and the usage of drones and whatnot as a position of strength. But like Chimaranga said, it represents a position of weakness. And another thing that, you know, is stated more clearly in other parts of this chapter, not so much in this selected excerpt, but, you know, all over the world, oppressed peoples are rising up and, you know, challenging the entire U.S. imperialist, you know, power structure, you know. So, like, there was a time when the U.S. or the white man in general would go somewhere and everybody would scatter, you know, people would retreat and whatnot. But today, you see everywhere on the planet, dark-skinned people, oppressed peoples, are starting to get organized and they fighting back tooth and nail. Ain't nobody scared of the white man no more. That's what's going on in the Middle East. You know what I mean? Like Chimaranga said, the whole Syria question, you know, in any time before Obama, the U.S., they would have been. In fact, they did that in Iraq under Bush. They just went ahead and, you know, bogarted their way into Iraq, you know what I mean? But since then, a lot has gone down, including the fact that oppressed peoples all over the world is fighting back tooth and nail. And the U.S. can't just easily go in anywhere without serious consequences. That's what's really going down. And I think that that's a really important thing that the chairman brings out in this document, especially in other parts of this chapter that we didn't read. But that's something that we got to understand, and especially as it relates to African resistance in terms of our struggle for liberation. Because the fact is that, you know, right here in this community, you know, the rebellions, the resistance that this city, this African community engaged in against the same U.S. military that's trying to invade Syria and all that, that's the same, that's what the police in St. Peter's part of. It's the same apparatus. But we saw in '96 how the people rose up and engaged in struggle and literally defeated U.S. imperialism right here in St. Petersburg. And that's happened on a couple of occasions right here in St. Pete and in London and other places where Africans have begun to rise up and challenge this entire relationship that U.S. and European imperialism has with us. It's important that we know that. It's important that we know that imperialism is on the retreat, and all we got to do is get organized, and we could be, you know, the nail in the coffin of U.S. imperialism, you know. And that's part of why this process right here that we doing is so important. When we put up them posters, and we put out the information, and we telling Africans to get organized, the party already has 41 years putting in work right here in this community. And all we're doing now is just kind of following up. It's reaping the harvest, so to speak. So that makes the work that we do so important in this period. I just want to unite with what's been said so far, you know, from the platform and in this document. Uhuru.
Anybody else? Question, comments?
You got a reporter, so you just ask a question from there.
Okay. So, Diop was just saying we want to do some resolutions, at least one resolution, based on what we read here today. And a resolution is a statement of your unity with a political position, your statement of intended action. That's what a resolution is. So I don't want anybody to get frightened by those words. It's a pretty simple thing. We can just start at saying this is what we resolved based on the study that we just did. We resolved to identifying St. Pete that we recognize. For example, we could say we recognize that St. Pete Police act as the front of imperialism on a local level, and the police carry out the same political tactics as the U.S. Army in Iraq and Afghanistan. So, Uhuru.
I think one thing that kind of came out in this discussion with what Kanun was saying about how he never even looked at the question in this way. And I'm sure that a lot of Africans in our community, if they've looked at the question at all, they probably not have looked at it this way as well. And it may be something important in terms of, because one thing we're doing right now, we want to develop like really creative ways to promote the content of this document, and at the same time to promote the fact that this Congress is about to happen. So I think one thing that we need, to popularize is the fact that white power is on the retreat. White power is on the run. Whether it's the St. Pete Police, they can't even deal with resistance right here in this city. They can't deal with resistance anywhere on the planet. And Africans got to understand that, because that's part of what gives us the confidence to go out and struggle, to win. So, and also that helps us relate to the struggle of resistance that the people of Afghanistan, Syria, Iran, etc. is engaged in. So I think that as a resolution, perhaps, we can say that we want to develop some type of flyer or poster that would say, and I'm just proposing a general headline, and people, you can, participate in the discussion, but something generally speaking, white power is on the retreat, white power is on the run, and give examples. They got back down when they tried to attack Syria. They got back down when they tried to attack the Uhuru House in '96, et cetera, et cetera. So that, to illustrate the point that we're trying to make in terms of the crisis of imperialism. So I don't know if anybody has anything to say about that, but that's what my proposal would be. Uhuru Kanun.
Hey, I was just going to add. I
Microphone,
gotta come up,
bro.
come to the mic. Y'all was just going to...
Go ahead.
Y'all was just gonna add that I'm saying that they think they got it like that, but it doesn't mean that they have it like that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's really what's on their mind, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's healthy. That, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you bowl. You're getting ready to go in the ring, right? You don't underestimate this little skinny dude or whatever, or you underestimate this big dude. Or you think this dude is slow. You underestimate this little skinny dude. He don't got no power in his punch. You get in the ring, next thing you know, you're laying down. You feel me? So it's like that. You know what I'm saying? So. I mean, they're relying on their technology, but still, none of these things are foolproof. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason to be discouraged, So, I mean, yeah, it can be toppled, you know what I'm saying? But I was wondering, is that what they're thinking? You know what I'm saying? But thanks for letting us know that really it's an act of desperation. You see what I'm saying? Why they're going through all these motions to get these things, to scare you, basically, to intimidate you. Oh, look, we got this thing. I can fight you from the other side of the planet. You know what I'm saying? So thanks for letting us know that. Uhuru.
So yeah, the proposed resolution, and I think Kanun has added on to it in a couple of important ways, but propaganda, to put out a piece of propaganda between now and the Congress, and perhaps out of the Congress, but that would illustrate the point the chairman's making in terms of the fact that white power and imperialism is in crisis. And give it, a mass language, like white power is on the run, or white power imperialism is on the retreat, and to link that to the resistance of oppressed peoples, and also to give examples in terms of, we say they're on the run because they can't, everywhere they try to attack and aggress, they get pushed back, whether it be in Syria, or whether it be right here in St. Petersburg, where they try to attack the revolutionary center of the African liberation movement in the U.S., and they failed because the masses rose up and fought back and defeated imperialism. So that really put in, we want to also, that peace should equalize the struggles of the peoples of the Middle East and other, places where peoples engaged in the resistance against U.S. colonial occupation, and to equate that, to relate that to the struggle we engaged in right here against U.S. colonial occupation of the African community
in the form of the police. And Brother Kaloon, I thought made an important point related to that in terms of